Reduced vocal strain. A lot of the singers have definitely said this. Hindi na ano eh. I mean, sometimes, especially, with, again, hindi naman sa ano, pero like the guitar amps get really loud, the drums and the cymbals are there, that gets really loud. So yung singer has to contend with that and has to hear their voices through the monitors. So parang sumisigaw na sila. With IEMs, kumbaga, they hear themselves without the challenge of having to go above the noise on the stage. So again, dahil na-isolate sila from the noise on the stage, they don't have to exert so much effort na. Tansyado na nila yung boses nila, tansyado na nila yung lakas ng boses nila. And, okay na yun. And they're more in tune, they're more less stress sa kanila. That's definitely, for singers, that's definitely a big thing to consider, yung boses nila, yung vocal strain. And then, mobility and consistent sound. So, you'd always see naman sa stage natin, di ba? Usually, spread out ang monitors. And this is, the idea of that is, to give the lead singer more or less sound kung saan man siya pumunta. But, technically, you'd probably have lobings anyway kung, diba, to a certain distance yung mga monitors. Or, again, you've got a noisy stage and yun kakalabanin pa rin niya. But with IEMs, first, dahil wireless ang IEM system ng lead singer, they could pretty much go everywhere na yung tunog nila consistent. They don't have to, have to go near the monitors or what. Everywhere they go, they turn consistent yung levels na naririnig nila. That's good, diba? And then the addition, of course, of mobility. They don't have to worry about anything. They don't have to be worry about lapit ko sa monitors or sa side fills. Either malakas siya na baka mag-feedback ako. They don't have to worry about that because everything's in their in-ears na. So again, an advantage. Clear sound for the listening audience. Yeah. I mean, how many times have you been in a venue na parang ang gulo ng tunog simply because yung sa stage, yung ingay ng stage, nagsispill over na doon sa audience area, tas nandun rin naman yung FOH. This has happened so many times, especially in some churches that have started in low-ceiling venues like in malls or in buildings na yung monitors on stage malakas, nagiging parang clam yan na parang, it just pushes sound out. Sinasabi ng FOH, it's a challenge for them. Again, the advantage of turning down the noise on stage and everyone hearing themselves and each other in a very controlled manner helps in the whole, in the whole performance. So improved sound because of clearer sound doon sa listening audience dahil naririnig lang nila yung FOH, malinaw, di ba? Yun lang. Wala nang parang ito yung FOH mas ingay pa nung from the stage maririnig nila. It's especially for the seats in front, di ba? It's a hassle. So and even in concerts, di ba? Parang that won't work. That's not nice. Well, overall, a simpler job for the sound guy. The reason why ang hirap ng monitoring, di ba, to mix monitors over FOH is that FOH would have to focus on one mix. A monitor person would have to focus on what? 3, 4, 5 mixes. Kaya usually, mas magaling yun sa monitors. Pero mas sikat yung sa FOH. But anyway, pero kung wala tayong monitors, then everything falls on the sound guy. Mas stressful pa yun. Again, by going personal monitoring, the personal monitoring way, giving them the advantages of mixing themselves, controlling it themselves, lessens the job on the FOH guy, having more time, listening, working on the details of the whole mix. So at the end, a simpler job for the sound guy is something we would also want if we're doing FOH, right? So we have talked about the good things good things of going IEM. Yung advantage to the tech, advantage to the musicians, to the singers. Yan yung we just talked about that one. But it's all, not everything is all good. Not everything is, ganun lang kasimple na solusyon na agad tapos panalo tayo. Hindi. Of course, there are some things that we have to be aware of to make it work ren, to make it work. Hindi basta-basta buy and it's the solution. There are some things that we have to make it work. And these are just pointing out some of the things. And I've got 3 things just to mention, probably a tip na rin. The thing with going IEMs, suddenly, there is this disconnect. Yung artist, lalo na yung it's the singer when he gets out there, gets in front and all that, di ba? He draws, as a performer, he tries to draw energy from the crowd, di ba? Pag binalik sa kanya yun, di ba? Ibabalik pa niya. Very important thing. But with IEM, suddenly, hindi na niya marinig yung audience, di ba? Or let's say, for those in church, di ba, hindi nila marinig yung response, or hindi, and it's just like, it's a natural thing, di ba? Gusto lang natin talaga nakikita, na-appreciate tayo. So that isolation can be solved by putting ambience microphones, and the ambience microphones, you only feed that to the IEMs, for those yung mga musikero, malay mo kung gusto lang nila, yeah, they could tweak a little of that ambience mic sa hearing rin nila, para lang feeling nila they're still part of the whole, hindi parang nandun yung audience, di ba? So where do you usually put them? You usually put them at the side of the stage, but always take into account yung microphone coverage, yung pickup ng mics, di ba? You wouldn't want to put it extremely to the sides where katabi naman yung front of house, then pati yung ingay and lakas ng front of house papasok rin doon. The objective of the ambience mics is to capture the audience. So it could be like 1/3, 2/3 of the stage, in front, trying to capture that energy, or try to get it a bit high if you have trusses. But then again with consideration of tinitignan nyo kung paano yung tunog ng FOH nyo, basta bottom line, you're trying to capture the moment, the feeling of the moment, the crowd, and yun yung ipapasa rin sa in-ears para yung singer hindi siya parang isolated, yung parang may nakikita siya isang tao doon na sumisigaw pero parang wala, di ba? Dapat more or less maramdaman niya yun na parang yung sumisigaw na yun, nako-connect niya yung visual niya doon sa audio na naririnig niya. So, yun nga, ambience mics, usually condenser mics ang gagamitin mo dyan, pencil mics, put it there, 1/3, 2/3, point it at the audience, So, anyway, yun. A disconnect to the audience is one hurdle na kailangan natin isolve when going IEMs, and it can be solved by installing ambience microphones. Second is RF. Okay, I've had videos, if you have seen it, meron akong videos about RF. RF management is a big job. It's a big job. RF is not like sineset up mo lang, tapos game, wireless. Nope. Hindi. Malaking responsibilidad, malaking trabaho ang RF management. And management is also not just trying to in this context ng pinag-usapan natin, I'd like to say, RF management is not just about, dagdag ng wireless and making sure the frequencies work. It's about knowing that, we don't need to go wireless. Let's just go wired. Not simply because of the economic implication of that, na makakatipid tayo. Not really that. It's that we're minimizing yung problem of interference. RF interference. Okay? It's hard enough to manage wireless mics, working, magkakatabihan. It's hard enough to manage that. Then sasabayan pa ng wireless IEMs, which are, the reason being, yung wireless mics natin, yung nandun sa tabi ng stage, those are receivers. Yung mga transmitters, ito yung handheld natin, yung belt pack natin, yan yung transmitters. No problem. I mean, okay na yan. Then, you've got IEMs, which is the opposite situation. You've got transmitters on the side of the stage and receivers dito sa yung belt pack natin. It's hard enough to, di ba, to have like 6, 8 wireless mics in an area, working. Pag na IEM system ka, now you've got transmitters na magkakatabi. Now, yung intermodulation challenges mo, mas tumindi na. Sila by themselves is a challenge. To have maraming transmitters in an area, in just like what, 1 square meter, kasi magkakatabi yung mga transmitters mo, that's a big problem. So the best way is to antenna combiner. So you're trying to combine all of those into one single antenna. That minimizes possibility of interference, intermodulation, ganyan. Yung RF management is not only managing the RF, but knowing what only is needed para nga yung performance maganda. Whatever else na hindi naman importanteng maging wireless, you could always go wired.